Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 7 o'clock main news. In tonight's headlines, the representative of His Highness the Emir attends the Formula One Etihad Airways Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Kuwait and Tajikistan sign an agreement for exemption of diplomatic and special passport holders from entrance visas to both countries. Tunisians go to the poll stations to vote in the first democratic presidential election since the 2011 revolution. And dozens of people have been injured and many homes destroyed after an earthquake struck villages in Japan. His Highness the Deputy Emir and Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah received at Sif Palace this morning His Excellency the National Assembly Speaker Marzouk Ali Al Ghanem. His Highness also received His Highness Sheikh Jaber Al Mbarak Al Hamad Al Sabah, the Prime Minister. His Highness the Deputy Emir and Crown Prince later received His Excellency the First Deputy Premier and Minister of Foreign Affairs Sheikh Sabah Al Khalid Al Hamad Al Sabah. His Highness then received the Deputy Premier and Minister of Interior Sheikh Mohammed Al Khalid Al Hamad Al Sabah. His Highness also received His Excellency the Deputy Premier and Minister of Commerce and Industry Dr. Abdul Muhsin Mid'ij Al Mid'ij. His Highness then received His Excellency the Minister of Information and Minister of State for Youth Affairs Sheikh Salman Sabah Al Salim Al Hmoud Al Sabah. Finally, His Highness the Deputy Emir and Crown Prince received His Excellency the Minister of State for Cabinet Affairs Sheikh Mohammed Abdul Mbarak Al Sabah. His Highness the Deputy Emir and Crown Prince Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah received at his Sif Palace Diwan today His Excellency the First Deputy Premier and Minister of Foreign Affairs Sheikh Sabah Al Khalid Al Hamad Al Sabah and His Excellency the Foreign Minister of the Republic of Tajikistan Mr. Sirajuddin Aslov and his accompanying delegation on the occasion of his visit to the country. The meeting was attended by the Under Secretary of His Highness the Crown Prince's Diwan for Protocol and Ceremonies Sheikh Mbarak Sabah Al Salim Al Hmoud Al Sabah. The representative of His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah, Minister of State for Cabinet Affairs Sheikh Mohammed Abdul Mbarak Al Sabah, attended the Formula One Etihad Airways Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which was held at Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. The representative of His Highness the Emir Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah, Minister of State for Cabinet Affairs Sheikh Mohammed Abdul Mbarak Al Sabah, left Kuwait this afternoon on his way to the United Arab Emirates to represent His Highness the Emir in attending the Formula One Etihad Airways Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which will be held at Marina Circuit, Yas Circuit in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. The National Assembly Speaker Marzouk Ali Al Ghanem received at his office today the Foreign Minister of Tajikistan Mr. Sirajuddin Aslov and his accompanying delegation. Talks in the meeting covered the existing relations between the two countries and ways of boosting them further in the future. They also discussed a number of issues of mutual concern. The meeting was attended by the Assembly members Khalaf Dmeithir and Abdullah Al Mayouf. His Highness Sheikh Jaber Al Mbarak Al Hamad Al Sabah, the Prime Minister, received at Sif Palace today with His Excellency the First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister Sheikh Subah Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Subah, attending the Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Tajikistan, Mr. Sirajuddin Aslov, and his accompanying delegation. The meeting was attended by Her Excellency the Under-Secretary of His Highness the Prime Minister's Diwan, Sheikh I'timad Khalid Al-Ahmad Al-Jaber Al-Subah, and His Excellency Kuwait's Ambassador to Pakistan and Non-Resident Ambassador to Tajikistan, Nawaf Abdulaziz Al-Nizi. The First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister Sheikh Subah Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Subah held official talks with the visiting Foreign Minister of the Republic of Tajikistan, Mr. Sirajuddin Aslov. The discussions covered ways of boosting the existing relations between the two countries in different domains, the prospects of coordination and cooperation among the two countries with regards to a number of international issues of mutual interest, as well as the latest regional and international developments. The talks were attended by the Foreign Under-Secretary Khalid Al-Jarallah, the Director of Asia Department Ambassador Mohammed Al-Mijrin Al-Rumi, the Director of the Under-Secretary's Office Ayham Al-Umar, and the Deputy Director of the First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister's Office Salih Al-Loghani, and Kuwait's Ambassador in Islamabad Nawaf Al-Nizi, as well as other Foreign Ministry officials. The State of Kuwait and the Republic of Tajikistan signed today a protocol for the exemption of diplomatic and special passport holders from entrance visas between the two countries. The agreement was signed on behalf of the State of Kuwait by His Excellency the First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister Sheikh Subah Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Subah, and on behalf of Tajikistan by the visiting Foreign Minister Sirajuddin Aslov. The First Deputy Premier and Minister of Foreign Affairs Sheikh Subah Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Subah hosted a luncheon at the Foreign Ministry today in honour of the Foreign Minister of the Republic of Tajikistan Sirajuddin Aslov and his accompanying delegation on the occasion of his official visit to the country. The banquet was attended by the Minister of Public Works and Minister of Electricity and Water Abdulaziz Abdulatif Al-Ibrahim, the Foreign Under-Secretary Khalid Al-Jarallah, the Chief Executive Officer of Kuwait Petroleum Corporation Nizar Al-Adsani, the Deputy Director General of Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development Hisham Lougayan, the Director of Protocol Department Dhari Al-Ajran, the Director of the Under-Secretary's Office Ayham Al-Umar, the Deputy Director of the First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister's Office Salih Al-Loghani, and Kuwait's Ambassador in Islamabad Nawaf Al-Nizi. The First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister Sheikh Subah Al-Khalid Al-Hamad Al-Subah received today a copy of the credentials of the new Ambassador of Canada to the State of Kuwait, Martine Moreau. The presentation ceremony was attended by the Foreign Under-Secretary Khalid Sulaiman Al-Jarallah, the Director of the First Deputy Premier and Foreign Minister's Office Ambassador Sheikh Dr. Ahmed Nasser Mohammed Al-Subah, and the Director of the Protocol Department Ambassador Dhari Al-Ajran. The General Secretary of the Gulf Cooperation Council, Dr. Abdulatif Al-Zayani, said the GCC Ministerial Council will hold its preparatory meeting in the state of Qatar next Tuesday to set the stage for the forthcoming summit of Their Majesties and Highnesses, leaders of the Gulf Cooperation Council member states. Dr. Zayani said the foreign ministers would discuss a number of memos and reports submitted by other GCC committees as well as by the General Secretariat. He added that the Ministerial Council would also discuss the outcome of the strategic debate sessions between the GCC countries and other international blocs, as well as the latest regional and international developments. He pointed out that the ministers simultaneously will hold talks with the foreign ministers of Jordan and Morocco on the existing partnership strategies with the two countries. The foreign ministers of the 6 member states will also meet with the foreign minister of the Republic of Yemen to discuss the latest developments in his country and means of boosting relations with it. Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas delivered a fiery speech in Ramallah in which he reiterated his plan to ask the United Nations to set a deadline for Israel to end the occupation. At the same time, Abbas said he was against violence and condemned recent terrorist attacks against Israelis. More on this report by Fatma Abdel Karim from Ramallah. Tunisians went to the poll to vote for their first directly elected president in the final step to be taken to full democracy after the 2011 revolution that ended the rule of Zain al-Abidine Ben Ali. More than 3 years since overturning Ben Ali's one-party rule, Tunisia has become a model for transition for the region by adopting a new constitution, the politics of compromise and avoiding the turmoil facing its neighbours. Today's vote follows the general election in October when the main secular Nidat Tunis party won the most seats in parliament, beating another party that won the first free poll in 2011. Afghanistan's parliament approved today an agreement with the United States and NATO that will allow international troops to remain in the country amid a renewed offensive by Taliban militants. In a statement, Afghan presidential spokesman Nazifullah Salzai said the foreign troops will train, advise and assist Afghan security forces. U.S. officials have said that President Barack Obama has approved new guidelines allowing American troops to engage Taliban fighters, not just al-Qaeda operatives in Afghanistan. Obama's decision also means the U.S. can conduct air support when needed. Residents in central Japan today began cleaning up after a 6.8 magnitude earthquake the night before damaged homes and buildings and left 39 people injured. Officials said everyone who was trapped was rescued, despite severe damages to buildings. The quake also triggered a landslide that blocked local rail services and roads. Weather officials said no tsunami warning had been issued, although the quake was felt 110 miles away in Tokyo. And the main indices of the Kuwait Stock Exchange increased upon closing today's session, with a weighted index standing at 466.44, gaining 0.11 points. The price index moved up to 6,995.16, putting on 9.27 points, and the KS615 index settled at 1,132.79 with a gain of 4.98 points. Number of trades amounted to 2,247 transactions worth 9 million Kuwaiti dinars, with 87 million shares changing hands. For a chance to see our reports, please visit our YouTube channel at MOI Kuwait News. And to recap tonight's news, here are the headlines once again. The representative of His Highness the Emir attends the Formula One Etihad Airways Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates. Kuwait and Tajikistan sign an agreement for exemption of diplomatic and special passport holders from entrance visas to both countries. Tunisians go to polling stations to vote in the first democratic presidential election since the 2011 revolution. And dozens of people have been injured and many homes destroyed after an earthquake struck villages in Japan. Thank you for joining us.